Hello everyone. From this video series, we are going to talk about how to use Azure OpenAI service. So basically here we will discuss on how to enable OpenAI in Azure portal, how to build systems using this service, how to integrate with other Azure services, as well as build and deploy various applications. So first, I will briefly explain what is this and why we should use it rather than directly using OpenAI through OpenAI services. All right, the first question would be what it is. So in simple terms, this is a service that facilitates the usage of OpenAI models through Azure. So basically, we can access GPT-4, GPT 3.5 models, as well as OpenAI's embedding models through Azure services. So how we can use this? We can use this in three ways. We can use it through REST APIs with Python SDK, as well as the web interface, which is Azure OpenAI Studio. And not only OpenAI's language models, we can also use Codex for the code generation, as well as DALL-E 2 for text-to-image generation through this Azure integration of OpenAI. So when talking about the features a little bit more, which is shown in the right side, so actually this is taken from Azure OpenAI blog itself. So we got various model availability, including the newest GPT-4 model, and then fine-tuning capability with bunch of embedding models at OpenAI. And regarding the pricing, I will talk more from the next slide. And also we got virtual network support and private link support, which gives us security and privacy, especially when we are using this in corporate settings. This is important. And we got the managed identity. This is again super important when we build and deploy ChatGPT based application to manage who can access the application. So this is provided by Azure Active Directory. And definitely the UI interface. So we got Azure portal, so we can seamlessly manage all the resources connected with these LLM based applications. And also we got OpenAI Studio to trial and test our deployments, our applications, as well as we can use it for the fine tuning. And model regional availability is another thing to highlight, which improves the scalability and availability of the large language models. And also Azure is towards more of responsible AI. So it provides good attention on avoiding unexpected behaviors in our applications. So there is an extra protection layer on content filtering. Then if someone is wondering why we should use Azure OpenAI rather than directly using it through OpenAI, so these are some of the reasons. So from the previous slide also you might got some idea. So one of the major reasons would be Azure OpenAI Studio. So this provides a lot more features than OpenAI when we are directly using OpenAI. So we can do fine-tuning models, and we can use our own document and build chatbots and also test them on the spot. So with the AI Studio, we can deploy chatbots, manage logs, and also do use additional content filtering to get more controllability. And also there is a set of examples and templates on language models that we can simply try out. And also it provides better playground to trial and error with all these models. So OpenAI Studio is one of the main reasons to use Azure OpenAI rather than direct usage of OpenAI. And also ability to integrate with other Azure services is something really nice. Azure is being used on various organizations already. So the capability of integrating existing systems and data with OpenAI through Azure itself is something definitely cool. And also through the portal, we can manage all the resources. So for example, when we are building document question answering system, one of the main challenge was inability to dynamically update our documents in vector store. But if you are building the same system with Azure, we can have all the documents in Azure storage account, which is also in the Azure cloud. So this provides us to handle everything through Azure portal or simply with the Python SDK. So this simply removes big limitations when we are using directly Azure services. And next, the cost is again a factor. Considering inference and language generation, there is no much difference compared to the direct usage of OpenAI. But when it comes to the fine tuning, we can save a lot when we are using it through Azure services. Especially with DaVinci model, we can save up to 80% of the cost when we are using it through the Azure. And enterprise level security and compliance is another thing. So as we already discussed, access control is a great feature that when we are using these uh, Azure apps deployments, so access control is really important. And also we got more controllability with Azure models when we are uh, rather than when we are directly using these models. And also we got region-based resources. So this enhance the availability and scalability of the model. So we can eliminate the downtimes with this. Last but not least, support and resources are there. So which particularly help us on model customizations and how we can use these models in our enterprise use cases. So personally, I believe that when we are building large language model based applications for enterprises, Azure OpenAI is ideal for such occasions. All right, next let's discuss on how we can get OpenAI to your Azure portal. So there are three simple steps. The first, we need to request for the access because OpenAI is not readily available in your Azure portal. So we need to request for the access. And then when we go through that, we can get Azure services to our portal. So from that, we can simply create OpenAI resource and simply then we can access these OpenAI services. So first, let's see how we can request for OpenAI access. All right, so in order to get access, you can simply Google request access for Azure OpenAI. So there you will come across this particular link from Microsoft. It will have the title limited access to Azure OpenAI service. So you can simply click on this link. So it will redirect to this web page. So here it says limited access to Azure OpenAI service, and it tells about the registration process. So simply from here, there is this link, register to use Azure OpenAI. So you can simply click on this link and this will bring you to this application. So here it says, please read all instructions carefully and complete form as instructed. So here it asks various information about you, first name, last name, how many subscription IDs you want this access, and it asks for the subscription ID and email addresses, company information, those things. And basically you can fill these information, and this form is a little bit long that you need to all these different fields. And also it asks like what are the other services, do you need the codecs, do you need DALL-E, likewise. So you can put all these ticks and simply you can submit this application. So basically this is how we can request access for OpenAI. All right, so once you have submitted the application, so you will get the access to Azure OpenAI. So Then you can log into your Azure portal, and so inside the portal you can search Azure OpenAI. So as I have recently used it, it is available in here. So simply you can open up the Azure OpenAI. So then if you are new to this, you won't see any of these existing resources. So you will redirect to this page. And then from here, there's a create button. So from this, you can start creating new Azure AI service. So when simply clicking on that, it will open up this application. So there you can fill in your subscription, resource group, region, and a name for your Azure OpenAI service and pricing tier and all. So with this, you can simply add Azure OpenAI service to your Azure portal. All right, so once you have created your Azure resource, you can open up that resource. So here you will be redirected to a portal like this. So basically from this, so here we have three icons down here: explore, develop, and deploy. And basically from this button, you can open up the Azure OpenAI Studio. All right, so all right. So when you open up the Azure OpenAI Studio, so this will be the interface that you will be redirected to. So I will zoom in a little bit. All right. So here in the home page, it says, welcome to Azure OpenAI service. Explore the generative AI models, craft unique prompts for your use cases, and fine-tune select models. All right. So in the getting started, there are like four options to try out. Like it has chat playground, completions playground, bring your own data, as well as DALL-E Playground. So you can click on any of these and open up. So but I think for the chat models, first of all we need to do a deployment. So I will talk about it within a second. So next, if I scroll down, there is like the tryout common examples, customer support agent, writing assistant, summarize an article, create cover art. So there are like various examples, templates that you can simply open up and try out. And here it says new features option. So GPT-4 model access, again, you have to request for it prior to have it in your AI studio. So that can be done from this particular link. And also there is a notice on responsible AI in Azure OpenAI service. And at the bottom, we have a little bit of learning resources. So we have the documentation from here. So if I click on that, all right, so it open up the OpenAI service documentation, and there are some videos, references, tools, etc. All right, so I will go back. All right, so in the side panel, we have two sections, the playground and management. So the playground, we have the chat playground, completions, and the DALL-E. So if you open up the chat, yeah. So basically, if you have not deployed any model, so you won't see a interface like this. So first you need to deploy a model. So yeah, so the completions also you need to deploy the model. And if you go to the DALL-E, yeah, that can be used directly. So here we can type a prompt here. Let's try something. You can click on the generate button. So this is still in the preview setting. Yeah, let's see how it what it builds. All right, so we get this image, T-Rex eating a Big Mac, right? So that's how we can use the DALL-E, right? So under the management, here we have the deployments. So there we have the current deployed models. And so here from this, we can create a new deployment. So when you are initially going to this interface, there should not be any deployments. So with this, you can create new deployments. And next we have the models. So these are the available models. Then we can use these you can use any of these models and build a deployment. And then here we have data files. So from here we can upload training and validation datasets for customizing your models and do fine tuning kind of stuff. And then we have the quotas. So this shows how much usage is available, how much left. And so also if you exceed the limits, you can also request more quotas. That is also possible. And then again, the last we have the content filtering configuration. So this is again in the preview condition. So with this, we can build various content filters to add more controllability layer to our chatbots. So, right, so that's it from this AI Studio. So first thing you need to do after going to AI Studio is go to this deployment option, deployment page, and then from here, you can create a new deployment. So first, you should have a deployed language model. So one of these models you need to get deployed in order to use in any of these sections. So you need to go to deployments and click on this create new deployment button. So from here, you can select various models. So for example, I will click on the GPT 3.5 Turbo model. And then from here, you can select the model version. So I will click on the auto update to the default. And then you can give a deployment name. So I will go with Geek Avenue. Right. So then from this button, you can simply create it. So it will take a little bit of time, and with that, it will create. So with this, you can create a model deployment, and then afterwards you can go to each of these sections, the chat, completions, etc. Then you can use this deployed model and test it out. All right, so once you have deployed your own model, you can try out various things. So first I will go to the home page. Okay, so now we can try out various things. So I will first click on the chat playground. So it will open up this interface. Okay, there are three panels. Yeah, so the first thing you need to do is from the deployment, you have to select your deployed language model. And here we can change the past messages. And it also shows the current token count, which is again really nice. And here we have the deployment and then the parameters. All right, so here also there are a set of parameters, temperature, top P, stop sequence, frequency, and presence penalty. Okay, so we can change those configurations of the chatbot, and here we can simply test out the chatbot on the spot. And here we have the assistant setup. So this should tell what is this chat assistance is about. Okay, so here it says specify how the chat should act. And here we can click and select the assistant template. So it has a various templates. So we can have our own template as well. It says Shakespeare writing assistant, IRS tax chatbot. Right, so it's so this is the default selected one, the Xbox customer support agent. right, so let's see, continue. And so there's the system message. So this is again something default. So it says you are an Xbox customer support agent whose primary goal is to help users with issues that they experience with Xbox devices. So this one actually, when we are creating our own personal chatbot, we can definitely change these things. And then we can also provide some examples on how it should behave. So this examples will guide our chatbot to meet our expectations. So here they have also provided some examples on this Xbox customer support agent. It asks like how much is PS5, and then assistant is giving a sample prompt. So here in the testing, let's try 5. Right, so it says, hello, how may I assist you with your Xbox device today? So then we can chat and test out how it works, basically from this. That is the chat playground. All right, and next we can also try out the completions playground. So I will click on it. Okay, it gives a interface like this. So here in the middle, we can type anything, and then here from this we can select deployment, and at the right hand side again we have all the parameters that we can change in order to change the text generation. And here we have a bunch of examples that we can try out. So let's try out one example. All right. We have various examples. Okay, so I will click on the generate product name ideas. Okay, so it gives us a sample prompt, gives some description, and it tells what other things need to be there in when we are giving the product names. And also it gives the example product names, and it stop the prompt from here and let the model to generate the rest of it. So let's click on this generate button. Right, so yeah, it gives the product names for us. So that way we can try out the completions playground. So here there are a bunch of templates that we can try out, as well as also we can try out with the parameters. All right, so that's pretty much I am trying to cover up from this video, otherwise the video will be a little bit lengthy. So basically with this video, we first get some introduction on what is Azure OpenAI service and why it is why we should use it over the direct OpenAI services. And also we saw how we can request for this service and creating Azure OpenAI resource in our Azure portal. And then we come back to this Azure OpenAI Studio, where we can try out with various stuff in these large language models. And then we did a deployment. We deployed our own model, and then we used it in the chat completions and various stuff. So these things, maybe you are already familiar with how to use these OpenAI models with the OpenAI Playground itself. So you can definitely try out various things with this. So from the upcoming videos, I will be discussing on how to build some applications and how to deployments and etc. So all right, then thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe me and thumbs up, and also share with your friends. So thank you for watching, and see you from the next videos.